All right, so next is from Telus Minor, and the subject is Under the Mask. What's up, K100 crew? First of all, love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. The question is for Conan specifically, but would also love to hear the rest of the crew, how the rest of the crew feels. Conan, do you feel AEW is a little too disrespectful with the removal of masks? I ask because as a 40-something-year-old man, I remember how Mexico lucha wrestlers had to fight for time and respect on TV. As you, Conan, always point out, the styles are different. With that being said, hats off to AEW for featuring Penta, Phoenix, Vikingo, Bandito, and many more as much as they do. But I just saw a match where Blackpool Combat Club took off Penta's mask and exposed his face, so he had to cover it up. I also remember a couple times that the Young Bucks and others have pulled off masks of lucha wrestlers. I know it's a wrestler's decision, but do you think this is happening too much and or too casually? Thanks, you guys are the best. I'm going to answer this first. I watch it. I absolutely think so. Because, bro, we know it's easy to yank a guy's mask off, and you could probably do it way more often, but you don't do it because then it's not a big deal. Like, it's kind of a respect to the mask. You just don't randomly take it off in the middle of a mask. Like, they do it like it's part of a spot now. You know, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that. It kind of like would have to protect them. Would you agree with that, Conan?
Yeah, masks aren't easy to take off because they're tied in the back. Unless
Right.
they're not tied in the back, then you can't take them off. But I do think they do it too much, and I think it's just like they know it's going to get heat. And plus, there's a certain allure or mystery of like when they're slowly taking the mask up and you can see their mouth and their nose and you can almost see who it is and they bring it back down.
It on, like you're in the struggle, the crowd's with it. No, but then these spots where they just do a go behind and you yank the guy's mask off, he has to cover up and then you pin him. It's like, you know,
right. But the problem with that is if you do too much, it loses its novelty, right?
Yes.
So usually when we do it in Mexico, it's like you're in a feud, you're going to do a mass match, you're going to have a return match. We don't do it as much as they do it in the United States.
Right. Plus two, when you just randomly do it like that, it's not like a mask versus mask where the guy's like evil and trying to get the guy down. He's trying to pull it out. It's like, bro, when you do that, it makes the mask guy look stupid that he would just go ahead and lose as opposed to covering up his face. You know, I don't know. I just think I think it's silly to do that, just a random spot like that. You know, so
the first time I saw that was and it may have happened before and I just forgot it or didn't see it. Was Jericho and Ray feuded in WWE, and Jericho in his book he says he came up with a spot that he's on the ropes. Ray comes around for the 619, and as he does it, Chris goes whoop and pulls his mask off, and Ray covers up and rolls out. You know,
right?
And I remember him saying Vince was like, "You can't do that," and then they demonstrated it for him. But exactly what you guys said. If I see someone's mask every 2 weeks, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Bro, honestly, I honestly don't. If everybody knew. Like if I don't think the rest, like your typical wrestler in the United States, knows how valuable a mask is and how much money they get for losing it. I think if everybody kind of like understood, like, hey, bro, these guys get a lot of money for getting their mask removed, and you just want to take it off on TV. It's just like it's kind of like the guy a little bit, you know. It's like I think people should be more educated to that. Do you think a lot of people don't know that, Conan? How much you get for masks?
No, they know. But the thing is that, I think that. The problem is that once they take it off, the guy covers up real fast, so you never really see the face.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But it is done too much.
Next is from Lee Noble. Subject. Oh, there's 2 questions left actually. Subject is mailbag. First time sending a question in. Long time. Oh, this could be a possible suspension. Who knows? First time sending a question in. What's the percentage of first time questions show that gets suspended? Like 10%, probably, maybe.
Yeah, it's not that strong.
Okay, longtime fan. Let me start by saying I hated Di growing up. Oh, this could be maybe a suspension. Now as an adult, I can appreciate his work, especially trying to watch today's wrestling. Thank you, Disco and Conan, for the years of entertainment. Question. Do you remember Lex Luger having his own steak sauce? I know he would often ask when in restaurants if they carried his brand of steak sauce and then get possibly when the answer was no. Did you ever see an actual bottle of Lex Luger steak sauce? No. This could be
let's suspend this guy. Me and Disco drove with him many a times, ate with him many a time, never heard. He would have brought it up. Here's my steak sauce, or I have a steak sauce, or I would have heard him, or asked for the Lex Luger steak sauce. Yeah.
This is misinformation, maybe intentional. Maybe intentional misinformation.
You know what comes up when I Google Lex Luger steak sauce?
What?
Peter Luger steak sauce guy. Are you sure you mean Lex Luger?
Oh my God, this guy's confusing Peter Luger with Lex Luger, maybe. What an idiot.
Still
Oh my God.
suspended.
Yeah, he's suspended for
See you,
2
Lee.
weeks. Let's give him 2.
Alright.
This next one's from Anthony Hunt. Okay, this is an impassioned plea to Disco. K100 crew, greetings crew. Disco, I'm so sorry for misinformation on Bianca Belair, but I'm wondering something. Why does Jared Avia get a free pass when he never owned up to the bogus Liv Morgan heel turn? On to my question. Thoughts on Nakamura heel turn? Do you think him and Seth would be a good rivalry? Also wondering how deep does the bloodline go wrestling wise? Sincerely from Anthony Hunt. P.S. Always respect the Great Disco Inferno in the mailbag. Suspensions are no joke. Okay, that's good. Well, first of all, Jared Aviat didn't really get off scot free because due to his
Got
publicly
suspended.
shaming him. Well, he was not on for months.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't. He's like basically got like kind of like a humility tour because he was embarrassed to come on because he had to apologize and he just didn't come on for months. So that was kind of like a suspension, which is
Right.
like we said, we actually did suspend him. We said for him to come back on, he had to apologize. He never apologized. So, but I guess it was like a 4-month suspension or something like that. So, yeah,
Should we suspend this guy for misinformation?
I don't know if it's misinformation. Plus, he put me over, so I'm not going to suspend him. Okay.
Yeah. Anthony is a victim of a lot of suspension, so I think that's why he's apologizing here and saying, "Please watch out and treat Disco with respect," because he's serious.
Yeah, the suspensions are serious. That's one
Yep.
thing. Very okay. Here's the last one. This is interesting. Edward R. and the subject is Dia de los Muertos. Greetings, K100 Click. My birthday coincides with Dia de los Muertos, and I'm considering a first-time visit to Mexico City. My only experience in Mexico is mid-2000s, Tijuana, which obviously completely different from Mexico City and very different from TJ today. Got a couple of questions for Conan and either Disco or Joe if you visited. Number 1, safety. I'm a healthy American black guy and won't dress crazy flashy other than maybe some baller glasses and can handle myself and can detect danger. I speak a little Spanish, like 2 out of 10 quality. Is this a dangerous visit for me or a dangerous time to be in Mexico City? 2, does AAA have anything planned for Mexico City or an adjacent area for Dia de los Muertos? I'd love to see a lucha show that week. 3, is there a part of Mexico City I should avoid in terms of hotels or scams I should be aware of? Thanks, as always, and that's Edward from Seattle. Conan, you get on this because I have no clue about all this.
Yeah, I don't remember the questions. What was the first one?
Okay, first one is safety. Is it a dangerous time to be in Mexico City or should he be fine?
Okay, let me break
And
it down to you.
he did point out that he was a black dude too, if that makes any difference.
Right.
It makes no
He
difference.
said he won't dress crazy flash. Okay, go ahead.
Makes zero difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Mexico City is like any other major city. There's dangerous places and there isn't. Like Philadelphia, like Vegas, there's places you don't hang out in, and the area tells you that it's not to hang out in there. Me personally, I would tell you to hang out in either Colonia Condesa, Colonia Roma, or Polanco. They're very hip, cool spots, very bohemian, a lot of American and tourists. They have everything you would expect: cool cafes, restaurants, shops, great clubs, after hours. That's where you want to go. What was the second question?
Any AAA events during Dia de los Muertos around that time? What is Dia de los Muertos? What date is that, by the way?
It's like Halloween. It's like the day after Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basically, what they do there is anybody that's dead, they go and bring offerings, and so it's supposed to be festive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The last TV taping we have in Mexico City is 23rd of September. You're going to be there like November 1st. We won't be in Mexico City for TV, but we will have house shows, and you can either ask our boys, Kevin, you go girl, Kleinrock at Mass Republic, or you can go to the AAA website, luchalibreAAA.com, and you can find out the house shows there. What was the third question?
Are there any scams to watch out for? Any scams in the streets or whatever?
The hotel scams, like hotel scams,
or
like in terms of hotel scams, or like anything like.
Yeah, well, what you want to do is you don't want to go to any of the places that are dangerous, and stick to the places I told you, and there will be no scams or anything else.
All right, that's been the mailbag.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.
Larry?
Yeah. Also, I had something interesting to read to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, let me just make sure this got to Larry. So we talk a lot about ratings and streaming and what Raw's doing and Collision and all that. Now, I just saw this on Facebook actually. So per the TV measurement company Nielsen, okay, from last month, July 2023, overall entertainment viewing, right? 20% was net broadcast networks, your NBCs, Fox, whatever. 29.6 was cable. Streaming is at an all-time high of 38.7%, and then video games and DVDs and Blu-rays are 11.6%. So right now, streaming is 10% up, basically.
Is that a surprise to you, Joe?
No, but I mean, we usually talk about cable television ratings. Now, how do we know how many people are watching Raw or Dynamite or Collision via streaming or whatever? Like Disco uses Hulu, So
Right.
Maybe that's another component as to why AEW.
I thought the Hulu is computed into the Nielsen though.
Right.
Look that up.
It had that +2 also, like or 3, like they were still putting in like another rating 3 days after, because not everybody watches everything live.
Right.
A lot of people recorded and watch it.
Let me tell you what I'll tell you exactly what it is too. I would guarantee you that if you went and did some context on that the percentage of streaming is probably way dominated by the younger demographic. But I would say by far. Because my mom still sits in front of the television and watches TV. I imagine a lot of old people that, the older you are, you still sit in front of television. Like young people, you're out, you're on your phone. Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, that's, like I said, cable and, network television, they're just, 10 years from now, they may not even exist anymore.
I don't think so. And the thing is that if you got to wait for, let's say, I'm just going to say Modern Family, for example, right? So if you got to wait for Modern Exam, and let's say they come out at Mondays at 7:00, you got to wait a whole week instead of blitzing through a whole like Narcos that you can watch in a couple of days. Who wants to sit around and wait a week? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on here, but it says Hulu and YouTube TV are reported in what's called DTVR's digital in TV rating. So it's its own thing. That includes live streaming, DVR, and on demand, and that's called DTVR.